another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Manemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior. Just sing along, holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting moving right and getting moving fast now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting moving right and moving faster. Never freedom. Is another Savior. Never freedom. Holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPO families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo.
And there it is. I was saying, and there it is, and there it is, not knowing I was not on the screens. But here I am now on the screen. So hello, everybody. And I'm sure the year would have broken in some place in time that will be watching this. So Happy New Year to all of you. I hope the year brings you all that your heart desires. So I hope that the year brings you all that you wish for. This is going to be a very, 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 very short session just so I can break in the new year with my family as well. So I'm not expecting to be here for more than 2 hours, no more. But nevertheless, it's just to document that the passing away of 1 year and the birthing of a new one, which is going to be a glorious year, I pray, for all of us. So a happy new year to all of you. And this session is going to be somewhat a look back at the year that has just been. So there will be some talking points, but those talking points, really, there will be space fillers. But what I am hoping to do is to have this session be about this year that is just now passing and may well have passed in wherever you are. So we're looking at the year, the events of the year, the winners and losers in that year, the breakthrough personalities, the people that have passed, all of that. So a lot of that will be in the conversation. That is that is if a conversation takes place, because of course it's my expectation that not a lot of people will be on the internet at this time. Maybe I am wrong, but if you are available, then just come and spend a few hours. Let's talk about the year that has been. But as we wait in anticipation of talking about that year that has been, let me just give you about 2 or 3 headlines just to hold the space. Tinubu opens up on alleged secret meeting with G5 governors. So what exactly transpired there? Hopefully, he'll shed some light on that, because that meeting that took place in London between Tinubu and these governors could well be a seminal moment in this electioneering phase. It could be the deciding moment. So what exactly transpired? Hopefully Tinubu will shed some light on that. So we wait in anticipation to find out exactly what this has to offer us. Tinubu opens up on alleged secret meeting in London with G5 governors. So hopefully he sheds some light on that. Still within that space, God will not give power to those who will sell off Nigeria. Governor Wike lambast Atiku camp. So there's still some sort of mystery surrounding where Wike and his group are going to pack their support. But what is not mysterious, what does not mystify, is that they are not going to be packing their support with Atiku Abubakar. I can hear bangers going on, fireworks going on. Of course, you hear a lot of that in this time. Maybe you can hear it as well. So that's people ushering the new year in. But as I said, the one thing we do know for certain is where Wike is unlikely, almost certainly will not be packing his support. God will not give power to those who will sell off Nigeria. Governor Wike lambast Atiku Abubakar's camp. So what's in play there, we'll find out shortly. And still staying within that space, why Peter Obi needs support of G5 governors, analysts to reveal. So I'm not quite sure if we need an analyst to tell us exactly why Peter Obi may need the support of the G5 governors. I would have thought that was patently obvious. The reasons are just they're within your reach. The reasons why Peter Obi would need the support of those governors. But really, the thrust and focus, hopefully, of this session, and please click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. The thrust and focus of this session is going to be about this year that has just passed. What has been the seismic events of this year? Who has been the winner and who has been the loser? Who has been the breakthrough personality? Who has been the biggest loss in terms of who passed away? So all of that in a very short conversation. As I said, I'm not really intending to be here more than 2 hours, but there it is. That's the menu. So come join us. Click on the like button, click on subscribe. If you want to come join me, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. And of course, the invitation as ever to buy your host a cup of coffee. Not a cup of coffee though, cups of coffee. So set about all that. And as we set about all that, let me have another little micro musical intermission. And then when I come back, we get straight into the throes of it. But first, the hair guides.
Water, only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Bobby Master kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Chief Wáìlà tí kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdóde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́ọ̀dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosonama ẹyẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodúnkẹ́ ẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
And there it is right there. May death have nothing to do with us. So that's the powerful prayer. And Alexander Gomez wishes you all a happy new year. He super chats to say that. Happy New Year, folks. Wishing everyone a fantastic year ahead. May the good Lord bless and protect you always. Respectfully. So that's Alexander Gomez. Just a stalwart of the platform, doing as he always does. So just good wishes for the new year to you guys from Alexander Gomez. So thank you, Alexander, and a good year to you too. May you have all your heart's desires. So that's a good year. So Alexander sets the tone. As guys, I bring you this. Tinubu opens up on alleged secret meeting with G5 governors. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, Bola Tinubu, has reacted to trending reports of a secret London meeting between himself and the aggrieved governors of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, popularly referred to as the G5 governors. It will be recalled that several sources claimed Tinubu met with the G5 governors and they gave him conditions to support his 2023 presidential bid. The governors, Yemsin Wike, Makinde, Akpazu, Otom, and Egwayu, had, according to reports, demanded some political concessions in exchange for them endorsing Tinubu's ambition. However, upon return from London on Friday, Governor Wike denied endorsing Tinubu and any other presidential candidate, saying they won't do anything in secret, and that when the time is right for Nigerians to know their preferred candidate, they will reveal him. Yes, Tinubu was in London. Reacting to the saga in a statement on Saturday, the media aide to Tinubu, Tunde Rahman, confirmed that the APC candidate was in London, as speculated, but denied any meeting between him and the 5 governors. Rahman said Tinubu arrived in London on December the 26th, spent a few days there before proceeding to Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj. So I'm not quite sure how often Tinubu goes to Saudi Arabia to perform Hajj. But this is a political Hajj, is what I'm trying to infer. So forget anything. It is a political Hajj that he has gone on. So he has gone there, of course, to signal to the Muslim North that I am an adherent. So that's essentially what that is all about. All right. Where was I? Yes. Let me take that paragraph again. Rahman said Tinubu arrived London on December the 26th, spent a few days there before proceeding to Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj. He said some persons were behind the rumors of a secret meeting and did it in bad faith. to advance their selfish political ambitions. The media aide added that Tinubu is, however, free to hold meetings with individuals or groups as part of efforts to deliver renewed hope to Nigerians, the statement said. As usual with him, when a year is coming to an end, to take time off his busy schedule, take a little rest and proceed to Saudi Arabia to observe the Umrah, Lesser Hajj. His Excellency Ashwaju Bola Tinubu was in London during the week en route Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Whilst in United Kingdom, Ashwaju noted some articles in some national newspapers in Nigeria alleging a secret meeting was held in London between him and the G5 governors, who are members of the People's Democratic Party. These reports, to say the least, are not only in bad faith, but also are evil intentioned. They were published to advance the political interest of the writers and their sponsors. The statement continues that the APC candidate is not bothered by the fake reports, but is focused on his campaigns ahead of the 2023 elections. The presidential standard bearer of the All Progressive Congress, His Excellency Ashwaju Tinubu, is neither bothered by these articles nor their sponsors, who are well known. He is resolutely focused on his campaign objectives, which are geared towards achieving victory in the upcoming presidential election in order to deliver the APC's action plan aimed at giving renewed hope to our people in all facets of their lives. He stressed that, but we must point out that the APC candidate is entitled to meeting any political actor or stakeholder that is important to his campaign and plans for the country, and that desires to engage with him. Rahman, in a statement, added that the APC candidate is expected in the country within the next 2 days to continue the campaign. We would like to use this opportunity to advise those writing unsubstantiated articles and peddling rumors on him to desist forthwith. So there it is, desist forthwith. So what are we able to glean from that? What are we unpacking from there? What we are able to glean is that Tinubu was indeed in London. Tinubu was indeed in London, so that we are able to establish. And we are also able to establish that the so-called G5 governors, they made that journey to London at the same time. So now we can, of course, not discount the coincidence of it. It may well just be a coincidence that the G5 governors were in London just at the same time that Tinubu happened to be there. But there is no such thing as coincidences, by the way. So a meeting this take place. I think we are safe enough. So yes, I think we're. So somebody is greeting Alexander Gomez. Yeah, that's what made me pause. So he says, this is fast is too slow. He says, Alexander Holmes, Emi Ashopolopodun. So it was the Holmes that threw me. It put me in mind of what they call Alexander on a Niger word, Alexander Gomes. Alexander Gomes. I'm not quite sure how Gomez is a struggle, but Alexander Gomes. So I thought maybe that was a parody of that space. But no, back to the politics of it. There is no such thing as coincidences. We don't know that. And we also know that Tinubu was in London at that time. The flight to Saudi Arabia, by the way, the flight to Saudi Arabia from Nigeria is a direct flight. It's not routed through any country. So he did not need to go via London to get to Saudi Arabia. He did not need to do that. So he went to London for a purpose. And then, of course, the G5 governors, they were in London for a purpose. But were they there, both there for the same purpose? I think we can put those two together, those two together, that one and one together to form two. So there it is. It is beyond equivocation now. So, but what does it mean? I am entitled to meet with anyone important to my campaign. APC candidate Tinubu reacts to parley with our PDP governors. So I think that is already captured in what we just read out. So we leave that there. So on to the next one. God will not give power to those. And by the way, there's no one in the room yet. So we've only got 3 articles to read. So if no one turns up, then of course we'll just end the session there. So if you do want it to carry on, then click on the hyperlink and then it will carry on. Just 2 more articles to read to you. But I'm hopeful that the conversation will wrap around the year. I'm hopeful that the conversation will wrap around the year. God will not give power to those who will sell off Nigeria. This is Wike. Governor Yemson Wike of Rivers State on Saturday said God will not give power to those politicians that will sell Nigeria in a second. The governor said this when he flagged off the construction of the, I won't attempt the name, in whatever east local government area of the state. He said, "We can never play God because we know the role that God has played in our lives. Don't be treacherous because you want power. God will never give power to the wicked." The governor's remark and veiled reference came on the heels of recent statements by Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal and Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who are Director General and running mate respectively of Atiku Abubakar and Presidential Campaign Council. Okowa has said at a rally in Delta State on Friday that God will give the party power at the polls next year, and no one, including the G5, could change that. The G5, or the Integrity Group, is a group of 5 disgruntled PDP governors led by Wike. The G5 has been at odds with Atiku since the party's presidential primaries in May and has demanded the resignation of the PDP national chairman, Iocha Ayu, in order to support Atiku's decade-long ambition. Wike, in his reaction to Okowa's comments, said the G5 had the backing of God, so God is now a politician. It's almost unbelievable what you hear from these people sometimes. In his reaction, Wike, in his reaction to Okowa's comment, said the G5 had the backing of God, and that explained why the group continued to work stronger. Some people said it is only God that will decide who will be president and not G5. We are where we are because of God. Nobody can even breathe air if not God. Not to talk about holding position, the governor said on Saturday. So nobody can tell us that it is only God. We know that it is only God that gives power, but our prayer is that our God don't allow those who will sell off Nigeria in 1 second to be in power. Our prayer is, God, don't allow anybody that you will have an agreement with, and the next 2 minutes the person will change. So that by the way, so you you don't need me to unpick those digs, by the way. Don't allow God to give power to somebody that will sell Nigeria off in 1 second. We all, of course, know that Atiku Abubakar has already promised the sale of Nigeria to his Arab friends, and they're only now waiting for him to take the reins of power so that they can just sign over the check to take ownership of Nigeria. So we know Nigeria for sale is Atiku's plan. And when he talks about treachery, we know who that is pointed at. God don't allow anybody that you will have an agreement with and the next 2 minutes the person will change. Of course, Tambuwal, you will all know where that is pointed at. So this is it now, street fighting now in Nigerian politics, at the upper echelons of Nigerian politics. Our prayer is, God don't allow those who will betray their brother when they have agreed with their brother to do something. God, may you never allow such persons, and that is why God is still making G5 stronger. Wike said, though those in Atiku's camp desired a division to cause the split of the G5, but it had never worked. So that is one of the things that surprises them most. that is one of the things that surprises the most within that G5 space. So what surprises the most is that they have held strong and held together for this long. Because they have varying and pecuniary interests particular to them individuals. Individually, they have varying and pecuniary interest particular to them individually. We all know the leanings of a Tom. He's very much of the liking of that obedient tonality. We know that Seyi Makinde is a dyed-in-the-wool Yoruba man that wants a Yoruba presidency. We know that Wike's main mission is to ensure that Atiku does not get that presidency, but we're not quite sure why Akpazio and Gwanyi are with them. So I'm not quite sure what their stake is, and we don't hear their voice enough. But you have standalone individualistic interest within the composition of that G5, and you speculate how they have held together for this long. So the expectation was for one of them to have crossed over back into the main party. That was the expectation. So that was the expectation. So where was I? Yes, our prayer is God don't allow those who will betray their brother when they have agreed with their brother to do something. God, may you never allow such persons, and that is why God is still making G5 to be stronger. Wike said though those in Atiku's camp desired a division to cause a split in the G5, it has never happened. The governor also said statements like the one credited to Tambuwal infuriated him. Somebody said they will handle us when we decide. These are the things that annoy us. So it's just sometimes you wonder if these people understand anything about tact and diplomacy. As somebody that is already gunning for you and pained by your action, you are telling him you will handle him again. So when Tambuwal says that it will handle Wike if he makes the wrong decision, what sort of response was he anticipating that Wike would have? Would that then make him put his tails between his legs and come scoring back to say, I'm sorry? It's just prodding at him, isn't it? And of course, that solidifies even more the defiance of that space. Tambuwal, who also served as the Director General of the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Organization, had stated on Friday that the PDP would confront the G5 when the group announced its brief. Hold on, pardon me. Hello, Folly.
My brother.
Alpha. Mon stream lower new.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Mon stream lower new. Happy New Year. I'm on the air. Folly. Oh, all right. All right. So sorry, that was Folly. He just called me now. Let me just text him to let him know that I'm on air. Pardon me. I'm on air. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Sorry about that. So yes, prodding at Wike never really an excellent idea under most circumstances, certainly not under these circumstances. So now, this now the last readout. Hopefully there's people in the room. Otherwise, we say Merry Christmas and then we leave it there. Let's have this last readout. It's still wrapped around that Wike space, by the way. Oh, goodness me. Hello, Folly. Folly.
Hello, Gumi.
Yeah, how far? Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Most stream low on you.
All right.
All right.
I think I've sent to you, right?
All right, brilliant. Is that confirmed?
So it's confirmed.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. That's well done.
All right, sir.
All right, fantastic. I'll call you afterward. I'll call you in the new year because by the time I'm done, you'll be celebrating. But I'm happy, Lola. All right, cheers. Thanks a lot. You're a gentleman. Cheers. All right. So where was I? So I'm glad I took that call. It may well be the case that we get Showore on the 2nd of February. So that's what not February or January. So that's in 2 days' time. So that's what Foley has said, and so we hold to that space. So we may well get the man himself. I'll speak to Foley again tomorrow to confirm that, but that's what he just called to tell me now. So we may well have Showore on the 2nd of January. So there it is. So the last readout then, he may well be the man of the year. Now we're still trying to decide who the man of the year is. It may well be Showore for giving us the time of the day. Why Peter Obi needs support of G5 governors, analysts reveal. So now let's not see what the political experts are making of that space. Ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, there are strong speculations that the G5 governors may endorse the All Progressive Congress APC Bola Tinubu or his Labour Party counterpart Peter Obi. This is after the 5 aggrieved governors of the People's Democratic Party withdrew their support for their party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar due to an unresolved internal crisis. Following the governor's latest trip to London, the media was awash with reports that they had struck a deal with Tinubu. However, Rivers State Governor and arrowhead of the group, Yemsen Wike, said on Friday, December the 30th, that the report is not true. Commenting on the development, commenting on the development, Ogigbanam Kingdom, a political analyst and youth/women development advocate, said the Labour Party candidate will likely need the support of the G5 governors, although his campaign is organic. He added that it is a plus to the campaign of any candidate who secures the support of the G5 governors. Kingdom, who is the executive director of the Platform for Youth and Women Development, said the G5 governors wield a strong influence as far as the 2023 presidential election is concerned. As for the G5 governors, they form a very powerful bloc as their states are very strategic. Benue being the heart of the Middle Belt region and Oyo State the capital of the Southwest. Rivers having the highest number of voters in the South-South with two power voting bloc states from the Southeast, Abia and Enugu respectively. Regarding who the G5 governors may endorse between Tinubu and Obi, Mr. Kingdom noted that Governor Wike has made it clear the group will unveil its preferred candidate in January. Although Governor Otom has openly declared support for Peter Obi, we cannot preempt or predict the outcome of the G5 resolutions because a lot of factors will be considered, he said. Such factors include structures, win ability, so that is the ability to win, equity, and government of national unity, the political analyst said. So I suppose, but before they make that decision as a group, they will set the criteria by which that decision is to be arrived at. They were not just going to say, give me a name, or they'll set criteria by which that decision is to be arrived at. And these are the criterion that that this analysis is suggesting. So these are the criterion that this analysis is suggesting, and it seems eminently sensible to me. So win ability, so that's win ability. So that is the ability to win. So with that I think is the foremost consideration that they will give to who they are going to part their support with. So they've already abandoned Atiku Abubakar, and they've already made the decision, including, by the way, Governor Tom, who arrowheads that particular narrative that power must transit to the south. So in the south now, you have two protagonists, Tinubu and Peter Obi. So the criteria that they are using, the criterion that they are using, so they started from the first one, win ability, the ability to win an election. So No, it is actually, let me give you, it says such factors would include structures. So let's start it from there. Who has structures amongst the two of them? We know that the APC, of course, has structures. They've severally, I think they've gone 2 cycles of national elections, which they have won. So they have established and tested structures that spans the entirety of the country. So, but does Peter Obi have structure? Well, they will tell you that the mass following that he has, which they tell us he has, is a structure on itself. And they will tell you that there is more authenticity in that mass following as a structure because it is organic and voluntary. But does that translate into anything in terms of politics? And cold are detached of emotions, decisions being made by politicians that are long and deep in politics. Do they give consideration to the prospects of this organic mass that the Obi spaces they have? Or do they give consideration to established structures that the APC has that has won elections time and time again? So in terms of structures, they have to make a decision between between the Labour Party in this instance and but let's not say the Labour Party, let's say the Obi movement, because the Obi movement transcends beyond the Labour Party. So they have to make the decision between the Obi movement and Tinubu as an entity, and then subsequently the APC party. So they have to make that decision between those 2 spaces to establish who has structures. So that's the first place. And then they went to the ability to win the election. So who would they are detached of all of the noise and hoo-ha in cold, calculating, detached of emotion, decision making? Who would people like Yemsin Wike, Seyi Makinde, etc., who would they feel has the capacity to win that election in February, on February the 25th? Who do they feel has the capacity? Is it Peter Obi and his organic movement that dominates the airwaves consistently for months and months? Is it that, or is it Tinubu, an experienced, wily, very savvy politician that straddles the ticket of the top 2 biggest parties in the country and also the party of the incumbent government? So which of those 2 spaces are they going to give consideration to that has the capacity to win that election? So that's 2. So they give consideration to structures, and we set the parameters for them to arrive at a decision. And then they will look at win ability, and we've just now set the parameters for them to arrive at a decision. So next, they look at equity. So they look at equity. So in terms of equity, which is fair play, who would fair play suggest should be the next president between Peter Obi and Tinubu? And what are the arguments around equity for those 2 spaces? So the Peter Obi space, the argument is obvious, of course. The Southeast has not had a turn in this dispensation, this 4th Republic. I'm not even sure they've been anywhere near the top 2. In fact, I know for certain that they have not been anywhere near the top 2 spaces of power in Nigeria under this 4th Republic that we're under. So they've not been anywhere near power all the way through for going on 30 years now. So they've not been anywhere near power, and they've not really been anywhere near power really in the history of Nigeria, we have to say that. So does equity demand then that if we're going to say that we're in an equitable country of equals, with citizens having the right and capacity and ability to aspire to and attain all that the country has to offer, if we're saying that that is the country that we live in, then does equity then demand that power should go to a space that has not experienced it before, that has not wielded that power before? So there's an argument to suggest that, but what argument is there in terms of equity for the power to go to Tinubu? So now the the equity argument for the power to go to Tinubu is not so much a tribal nation and ethnic nation argument, but an individualistic argument. So Tinubu has been orchestrating and plotting towards that Aso Rock seat since 1999. He has maneuvered, he has schemed, he has favored and he has disfavored, he has moved and he has dumped, he has done everything possible to the point that he, in terms of wanting to fulfill this ambition, he used Buhari to force Goodluck because he couldn't join the PDP, so he needed a different vehicle to get to that Aso Rock seat. So he then formed this mass organization called the APC, and then he picked the star boy from the north and used him as a bullhorn to force the man from the creeks out of the Aso Rock seat. To then, and then once he forced the man from the creeks in Aso Rock seat, even the categorical disaster that the man from the north has been, Tinubu has still managed to hold him in position. Tinubu ran both campaigns that won this guy the victory in 2015 and reaffirmed him again in 2019. Those two spaces, Tinubu stumped it. So is that in itself sufficient enough? Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is a different argument. But in terms of that individual effort to achieve the ambition, is it equitable then that Tinubu has done enough in terms of equity to be the president of Nigeria? So there's an argument there. It may be more of a controversial argument than the power going to the southeast, which has never held it before, but there's certainly an argument to suggest that Tinubu has done sufficient in terms of individual effort to be somewhat deserving, some people might argue, of that post. So now we've gone structure, winnability, equity, and government of national unity. So government of national unity is the last criteria that this political analyst is putting forward. So I'm not quite sure what government of national unity means, but government of national unity. So what narrative wraps around national unity in Nigeria? There's only really two narratives that wraps around national unity in Nigeria, and that is, of course, tribe first and then religion second. So it's a tribe and religion narrative that usually wraps around that space. So in terms of government of national unity, which of those two spaces are most likely, both as they stand now as campaign vehicles, which then would transmute into governance, reflect a more nationalistic phase? So Tinubu, of course, is a Yoruba man from the southwest, and his running mate, Kashim Shettima, is a Kanuri man from the northeast. So that certainly covers the two divides of north and south. Peter Obi is an Igbo man from the southeast, and his running mate is a man, I think, from Zaria, whatever is that in Kano or in Kaduna. So certainly from the north. Also, they claim. Some people will argue differently, but let's go with that for the purposes of the exercise. Sorry, my lighting is acting up somewhat. But oh god, I don't want to lose that. Oh, so let's go with that for the purposes of the argument. So hold on, where was I? Yeah, so let's go with that for the purposes of the argument. So that's 50-50. Peter Obi from the south, Yusuf Dati from the north, Kashim Shettima from the north, Tinubu from the south. So far there is a national face to that as straddling the two divides. But where it deviates somewhat is in terms of religion, because those are the two strap lines of Nigeria, as you know. So Peter Obi now, a Christian northerner with a Muslim, a Christian southerner rather with a Muslim northerner running mate. So that is equibalanced then. So there's that's a balanced ticket. A southerner lead with a northerner running mate, a Christian lead with a Muslim running mate. So that's a balanced ticket right there. But with Tinubu, a southerner lead with a northerner running mate, but crucially, a southerner Muslim with a northerner running mate. So does that reflect then national unity? You may query that. So those are the criteria by which that decision will be arrived at. But then, of course, you have to add politics into that as well, because that's somewhat a puritanical list. But then that decision ultimately will be reached by politics. Such factors include structures, win ability, equity, and government of national unity, the political analyst said. Mr. Kingdom further said the decision of the aggrieved PDP governors not to endorse article is a welcome idea, his words. It is welcoming in the sense that Nigeria being a diverse and multicultural society, to maintain peace and stability must continue to respect zoning and its conventions in rotational presidency between the North and South. These issues cannot be ignored and must be strictly respected by both regions to ensure the continuity of this marriage between the Northern Nigeria and Southern Nigeria as adopted during the Asaba Declaration. In another report, Akin Ochitokun, the newly appointed Director General of the Presidential Campaign Council of the Labour Party, said former President Olusegun Obasanjo is fully in support of Peter Obi. So we've done that already, but quite an interesting breakdown from that analyst. It's quite, I wonder what people are making of that. I say people, we only have Femi here. So if Femi is there, then we have that conversation. If Femi is not, then we may just wrap up. So Femi, are you there? Sure, I'm there. Femi?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
All right. Good to have you. Happy New Year, Femi. Where are you? Has the year broken in where you are?
Oh, it's almost 11:23 over here. Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah. I'm from Sweden. What language do you speak there?
Svenska.
Oh my goodness me! All those are all the girls there blonde? Are they all blonde?
Yes, all the girls are blonde. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Did you manage to bag one of them, or have you stuck with the Nigerian?
No, I prefer my country people. Like, yes.
Better, Jare. So to the politics of it. I was hoping to audit the year and see what you have made of the year. So the year fast coming to an end now. So who has come through this year as the winner for you? Who is your man of the year? Let's start it from there. Who would you say your man of the year is in terms of Nigeria?
In terms of Nigeria, the man of the year, like in my own way of seeing it, I see Tinubu as the man of the year.
Right.
Winning the presidential primary of APC is a big grace for him, because many people thought he won't win it, because the cabals, everybody are after him. Everybody were not in support of him, to the extent of for him to be saying that he cannot sleep a week to the election, that he will be hearing some rumors from Aso Rock that there's another information, like the president has support another candidate, another aspirant there. I think Tinubu is the man of the year. If I want to say the second person, I will say Peter Obi, because Peter Obi is someone that does not have any, I can't say have any followership before May 2022. But after then, he has been building, it's growing from his base is now big. He has a very good base, but because of no structure in Labour Party, I think he cannot succeed in 2023 general election.
All right.
I think those are the two.
Those are the two. And somebody like Wike, does he get a shout as well? Does he get an honorable mention?
I think Wike is just we should just call it the comedian, the greatest comedian in politics for 2022. Because what I notice about the man is that he is scared. Tinubu, like Wike is very scared. Like the way he talk, if you are someone that is very you should be reserved. You talk all the time. Like today, you are talking to everybody. You don't have to do that. If you want to go, go. But in my own way, like the way I'm seeing the man is likely to follow PDP at last stage. I have my reason.
To go back to Atiku.
To go back to Atiku, because I look at him. He wants the chairman of the party, and I believe that is not the reason. That is not the only reason. He knows that if they give him the party chairman of the party, that means he already have the structure of the party. If Atiku lost the election, and he's trying, and Atiku camp, they are just, it's just like it's like just two big men fighting for a thing. Atiku want to own the structure of the party as the presidential candidate. Yeah, and Wike want to tell him that I'm your boss. This is just like a tussle of big men. But why I'm saying that Wike is scared is just that, like the way he talk through the media, that he has not make his position, that is just what is my demand. If they agree to my demand, I will work with Atiku. That means there is still hope for Atiku. There is great hope.
But we don't need two months left.
Yes, they will prefer to work with Atiku rather than to work with Tinubu. That is the way I see it, because look at him, he has not left the party since 1998.
Does that not make it a fallacy of his insistence that power must transit to the south?
Sir, I cannot lie to you. These people are politicians. These are all lies. They are just bringing something up to feed their view, their opinion. They just want us to feel like they are right in everything, and it's lie. Politics is just about interest. This is what I think. That is when I talk with those Obi people. When Peter Obi attained the position of president, if lucky, he won the election, you will see the real politics in him. All these consumption to production, these are all bit of lies. The country is not secure. You want to do consumption to production. Where are you consuming? What are you consuming? What are you producing? This really funnies me. I look at, you are from Southeast. Like, I look at Southeast before, during this period, Onisha, they produce different clothes, different shoes. It's not like that again. You are saying that you have been a governor. You can't compare yourself with people. Say that Tinubu did nothing when he was a governor. I think that is a lie. In my own, Obiano was your successor. You were the one that handpicked him, that Obiano, you are my candidate. It's just like Fumbara to Wike today. And within 3 years, you guys have issue. What create that issue between you guys? We have to ask Obi, what create that issue between them? These are questions people have to ask Obi. Not that Obi is just claiming I left how many billion? I think he said he left almost 50-something billion or 60-something billion in the coffers of the government. Those are no, and he left projects that have not been done, they have not paid for the companies. It's just like this man, this Osun State governor. Osun State governor, I mean the Ademola Adeke, the president, and the predecessor, Oyetola, said that he left 14 billion to the coffer of the government, and you are owing people salary of 11 months, 9 months. How much is 40 billion? Why don't you use that money to pay them before leaving the office? These people are just trying to make us see them as good person and like good people. They are not politician. Will always be politician. This is what why I'm saying all this is just because telling people following where Obi is not an angel. If you want, like the man you say you want to come on 2nd of January, those are the candidates people supposed to be rooting. They should be supporting. I voted for him in 2019.
Oh, we've lost our Femi. I don't know why, but thankfully we have Obina. So, Obina, are you there? Obina, or mute?
Yes, one man, I'm here.
All right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You are in the UK as well, aren't you?
Okay. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. So we have Femi back.
Okay.
He was still talking, though. He didn't even know he dropped out.
Yes, yes, sorry, please. I voted for Shore 2019. I see him as a better candidate. But like he has not been political space since he has been struggling since 1992. Like what he said to us, that is what he said. And there's snappy picture with the late Abiola. And these are people we should be supporting as youth, not Peter Obi.
All right, leave Peter Obi alone for a moment. But who is your breakthrough person for the year? Who in the young people space? Has there been any name, both in politics mainly, but maybe in business as well? Has anybody broken through this year as the breakthrough person, as a person for the future?
For the future.
Yes, like a new name that's just
new
coming to
name.
this. Yeah. You see, because they talk about youth. Okay, go on.
I'm looking like Ingilari.
Oh, you mean the former Channels Television's anchor?
He's now the essay to the president.
I know.
On public, I think that guy have a future in politics. The way he speak, his sound is very. I like the way he talk. I see him as someone that the future is very bright for him in politics.
All right. And is there a woman of the year for you? Is there a breakthrough woman of the year for you?
Breakthrough woman of the year? In this government, I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody.
All right. Then who will be the woman of the year for you? Would you?
I think the woman of the year should be Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Yes, I don't think we can go beyond that, really. She would be the woman of the year for most of the years. Thank you. What has been the most seismic event of the year for you? What's happened this year that stood out above everything else?
If it's tragic, like incident, I think what happened in Kuje prison. I think that one is sardonic to everybody. That event is very bad. But if I say something like we can appreciate in the nation, like we can talk about. Let me think about that.
What about the signing of the new electoral bill?
Oh, that is big. That is huge. Yes, man, that is huge. That means that really give everybody hope for a better nation. Like the vote of masses is counting. I think that should be the one. Not about the Kuje prison. Kuje should be out of it. That should be the one.
And in terms of tragic events, you have to make note of the Owo incident as well when they went to shoot up. Yes.
Oh, I'm from a nearby community to Owo. That is I know how people feel till this moment. about that incident. Like people are still mad at themselves. Like people are still people cannot go to church. They are still scared. I think that is the greatest, that is the tragic incident that happened in Nigeria in last I think it's less than 23 minutes over here now. It will be last year very soon. I think that should be the one, yeah.
All right, brilliant. And your projection for 2023, what is your anticipation? Start from February and then take it to December. But go to January 1st. No, actually February. So what do you anticipate will happen in February in terms of the elections?
In like the way I'm seeing it, like I think Tinubu will win the election. And it's not that I think, I know Tinubu will win the election. This is what I used to tell people when I was still invested, that is 2016 period. I used to tell people that APC will rule for 24 years. People think I'm lying. And 2019, I told people that Buhari will win the election. Like, I think Tinubu will win February election. And what will be from February to May is all about the removal of the subsidy. Because the removal of subsidy with the electoral, with the PAIBB, they have to remove it by June 2023. That will create an uproar throughout the country. Like there will be protests about removal of the subsidy. And I know the Nigeria Labour Congress will not take it easy with the incoming government. And in my own way of seeing it, I think Tinubu will not like to start in that faction. He can extend it to the upper year, but in my own view, I want him to start it from June. That should be the best. Like people are paying 350 naira to buy petrol in Nigeria today, and they are coping with it. Like they are buying, and I know it's too much, but people are buying. Like it is better than paying 6 trillion every year, and some people are seeing like 500 billion out of it. That is too astronomical. And in my own way of seeing it, I believe if Tinubu won the election February, Buhari will leave the office May 29. When Tinubu won the election, when he become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think he will appoint. In my way of seeing is that when I look at the way I see his cabinet, I think he loves to have technocrats around him. Not everybody will be.
What sort of year are you anticipating 2023 to be for Nigerians?
I think it will be a successful year. Like I'm talking about the economically, Nigeria will be. I think Nigeria will feel like we breathe a new air, a fresh air like that. And I think 2023 will be a very good year for the country because with the starting of Dangote refinery, I think we have to talk about that also. Dangote refinery, it will be the game changer for petrol in the country. It will really help. I think it will help, but the fear and what scared me about demand is just about what happened to Dangote cement from 2017 till now. I have been in one of the building construction business. We used to buy cement 2016. I think is 17. Today, cement is 4,000 plus. That is why I'm scared of the man. The man is somehow in love with money. I know every businessman, they are very good in some stages to be able to attain their goals and their focus in life. But I think 2020 will be better. Will be a better year more than 2022, because 2023 has been rough. People have been suffering. 133 million Nigeria in poverty. That is very bad. Very, very bad. Out of 200 million, 133 million in poverty. That is bad. And people telling me that, like, I want to say something. Can I continue?
Yeah, carry on.
Like, people say that they have over 21 million Nigeria out of school. I didn't believe that. This is what I want to ask people. Who are these people doing this survey? Where are they? How did they get these figures? And we should try to remember that many schools in Nigeria, they are unregistered. This figure 21, because when I look at my community, my street, I look at almost everybody.
I think a lot of those numbers will be made up in the north. It'll be a lot of the north, because if you go to the north, you barely see a child in school, and have a lot of people that have served in the north in teaching capacities. They tell us that they actually go to their homes almost on a daily basis to persuade our parents to let their children come to school. You know, they'll rather have them in the farms or on the street panning for money, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So a lot of those out of school children, a lot of them, but by the way, River State has a lot of illiteracy as well, which surprises. Or is it Cross River? But we went through the data some time ago. But before I go on to Obina, and I still want to hear more from you, but not to keep Obina waiting for too long. What do you think the abiding memory of the Buhari administration will be? How will Buhari be remembered, Femi?
I love this question. Like, I think people. I think Buhari. Like the name Boo Boo is. I think people will remember him for him passing the electoral law. He will be remembered about. It's like Yar'Adua passed 2010 electoral law. I think people will remember him for that. The rejuvenating of our railway, people remember him for that. And like the way he revived it, people remember him. Like when I look at his government, transportation, he did very well. Infrastructure, he did very well. But education, the last part of his tenure, he did poorly due to the ASU strike. I would have said that he tried in the education sector. Petroleum, nah, not at all. Very poor. Labor, he really tried, like increasing the minimum wage from 18,000 to 30,000. I think he really tried. If we want to be true to ourselves.
What was that? Sorry, Femi. Was there a choice there? Because the inflation rate in the country, it doesn't leave room for them not to increase the minimum wage. Because the inflation rate in the country was such that 18,000 minimum wage had fallen in terms of actual purchase value to about 7,000-8,000. So they had no choice but to increase the minimum. It was unless otherwise people would just be dropping on the streets, you know, through starvation.
Yes.
So the economy forced that, I would suggest.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. We should not praise him on that. But we should just. I'm just trying to find something to talk about to appraise him for something.
Femi, I'm glad that you did not just go to Buhari was a fail. I'm glad that you're actually giving us a structured.
No, he has something we can say good things about. Infrastructure. Let us talk about the Niger Bridge. That is a very great achievement for him. For life, it will be a great achievement for him. People cannot take it from him. Railway from Lagos to Ibadan, like working very fine. I think he did like 4 or 5 throughout his 8 years, and he did very well in that. We should talk about. Let us go to the health sector. We should appreciate him on the coronavirus, the way they cover it. We should appreciate him for that.
All right, well, that is your assessment, but they were hoarding food though. But I'll carry on. Yeah.
Oh, people can say many things about, but he really tried in that. They really tried. People, we should say something good. Like, people think the man is worst. I don't think he's worst. The problem I have with him is that his appointments, some of them are not merit. They are not up to standard.
Right.
To be in those positions. Like what people say about him, they say that when he told you to do this, he does not ask from you again. He thinks that you have done it. That is the way that is the way he sees things.
All right, because it's going to be a very short session. In the final summation, what part of the annals of history will Buhari go? A good guy, a good presidency, or a bad presidency?
I think nothing we can say about him is a bad presidency. It's a bad.
No, you've painted a
but
picture.
Let me say it in a way. Let me praise him in the security. I think if I tell people, but before Buhari became the president, became the president of Nigeria, Nigeria witnessed bombing in all parts of the north before 2015. Nobody can argue about it. But right now, there's nothing like that. But the issue we have with insecurity, there's nothing like insurgency like before. There is, but it's not like before. Insecurity now that we have is just the Fulani herdsmen, and we call one bandit, and kidnapping. There's kidnapping. That one is a long battle in the country. But if I want to say it's government, if I want to say everything up, I want to sum it up. He is an average government. He did averagely. He performed averagely.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. Stay with us. We go on next to Obina, but before we go on to Obina, of course, Alexander turns up and we hear from him quickly. So, Alexander, good to see you. The year about to pass. I'm not sure if it's already passed in your where you are. Yeah.
No, it's 4:50 p.m. over here. We still have about another 5-6 hours to go.
All right.
Yeah. Happy New Year in advance to everybody. Your show has been thrilling, breathtaking, and educative simultaneously. Truly have been. It's truly been a blessing to be part of this one-man platform this year. So kudos to you, one man.
All right, thank you. It's all thanks to you guys. You guys make the conversation, as you know. If I was just here, then I always talk nonsense, but I hide behind your cleverness.
Yeah, I think you've just been modest. You've been a wonderful presenter of the show. Sometimes you come across a little bit obnoxious, but you know the game you're playing. You've been English. I understand all that. So it's been a thrilling ride for the year, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, let's audit the year fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Your man of the year. So just give us the
Without
name.
a without a shadow of a doubt, Peter Obi.
Peter
He has
Obi.
become
Right.
he's become a political juggernaut. He's done an amazing job in 3 months to shake up the polity of the country. Nobody can take it away from him. That doesn't mean that he's going to be the president of Nigeria, but he has he's scared a lot of big wigs in the country. So I would give it to Peter Obi. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. And your event of the year, you can have two in that space. What event shook the Nigerian space, either positively or negatively this year?
Negatively, the flood in the south north central of Nigeria. That was heartbreaking. I for the country that's supposed to be the most powerful black country in the world, I don't think we're doing well in that regard. I think something needs to be done to that very fast because a whole community was wiped out in Bayelsa State in 2022. We shouldn't be seeing that kind of thing in the biggest economy in Africa. So that would be on the sad side. On the happy side, I don't know. Nothing comes to mind readily. Maybe while I'm thinking about it, I'll talk about it. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. And was there a breakthrough person this year that came to the national consciousness as somebody for the future? Was there a breakthrough person this year?
Peter Obi. Yeah.
Still,
yeah.
Is the man of the year and the breakthrough of the year.
Yes,
You've been spending too much time on that Edo.
No. Look. I want to be unbiased and totally objective.
Oh no, sorry, it's yours. Carry on, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I know what you're doing. Yeah. Locally, it will be Peter Obi. International will be Ngozi Kojiawala.
Oh no, you get to pick the woman as well, but Peter Obi, the breaks. And by the way, I somewhat agree that Peter Obi is because of course it's a known quantity, but the new dynamism and the new it's just shot through to the upper echelons of society within 6 months. I don't think we've ever witnessed that in the history of that country.
No. He's done an amazing. But it all, like you said yesterday, and I totally agree with you. I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was 2 days ago. I think we need to give all the praise and achievement to Dr. Okupe. I think he was phenomenal in bringing an average politician in Nigeria to superstardom. Absolutely breathtaking job that he did, and for me, when I compare him with this guy with the temper, Akin Sotola or whatever his name is, I just don't think that they're in the same league at all. I just think that there's something quite special about when it comes to marketing an individual. I think Dr. Coupe just stands out. I think it's been absolutely phenomenal. So I probably would give the breakthrough person of the year to Dr. Coupe. Yeah.
Would you give it to them jointly? You can give it to them jointly because of course the product has to be marketable for you to be able to market it.
It would be okay, that's fine. I can give it both to them, but all respect has to go to Dr. Coupe because like I said, from a mediocre politician to a national figure in a space of 4 months, that's never been done in Nigeria before. That doesn't mean he's going to be the president of Nigeria, but what he's done has shaken the space. He made the most popular politician amongst the people running right now, in my opinion. Atiku made him look like a schoolboy. So that's that. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So next, I'm going to ask for your projections to the future, what you anticipate will happen in February. But before I take you there, let me do a bit of housekeeping. A man of prestige. It says, one man and everyone in this space, happy belated Xmas and New Year in a few hours. So thank you, man of prestige. And a happy new year to you too. Hopefully you made it safely back from Nigeria, or maybe perhaps you're still there dodging bullets. But happy new year to you, and thank you in advance. I think it will be where you are. And thank you for the super chat. So thank you for that, man of prestige. And let's document the coffee space. Of course, you all know what is coming, as he always does. Ayo does the buy the coffee thing. So let's acknowledge that. So thank you for that, and a happy new year to you too. So that's Ayo, as it always does. So thank you, Ayo. So thank you, Ayo. So now projections to the future. You're anticipating. Oh, let me bring Patrick on. Projections for the future, really the most immediate of futures, anticipation of what's to happen in February. So who's going to sit on that seat? So I did say I was going to hold everybody accountable today. So who sits on that seat? Alexander Gomez. February the 26th.
It's going to be a runaway victory, a slam dunk for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu from our local government, Lagos Central local government, whose family house to my family house is about a stone throw, will be the president 2023. I called that 6 months ago, and I'm sticking by that. So that's that. In terms of projections for the country, we're going to see a total turnaround, because this person is going to have the best brains available to him in the country. And he's going to have
is that within the year? We see a turnaround within the year, or
yes, we will see a turnaround within the year. Yes, yes. I say in a space of 9 months. In a space of 9 months, when you have the big boys, the people who are qualified to run the country and govern a portfolio or manage a portfolio, take us to the next level. It's not impossible. Nigeria is a fabulously rich country. Once we have the right policies in place, we'll see a turnaround within 9 months, because this man has the capacity to do that. And in the next 4 years, I see Nigeria becoming one of the top 20 economies in the world.
Within the next how many years?
4 years.
The top what? The
top
what?
20 countries, top 20 economies in the world.
All right. That I can accept, because we're not that far from that anyway. But so yes. I was going to ask you what sort of a year you anticipate 2023.
Let me answer that. In departing, I think the fortunes, the average citizens will see a change of fortune in their bank account, in their pocket. Price would drop drastically. I think I don't know about the subsidy. I need to do a proper valuation on it and see how that might affect or disaffect the average Nigerian. But I think that the economy will be jump started. We have the right central bank governor and the right economic policy team in place. We're not a poor country. We just have a problem with management. Once we get the right people in place, I don't think it's going to be very difficult to turn the country around. In terms of Buhari's legacy, his legacy would be that he divided the country more than he met it. That's it. He's the worst president.
That's how he's going to be remembered.
Yes, and he's the worst president we've ever had. That's it. He's done the unforgivable thing of picking up ministers and subordinates that just are out of their depth, and they're making the country look so bad in the international community. Once we get the right people in place, things will turn around. I have no doubt about that. Nigeria is not a country. It's like having a Range Rover, a Ferrari, and you put a regular gas inside of it. It's not going to work.
Just on that turnaround, before I go on to Obina, the turnaround that you're anticipating, would it be as a result of things that Tinubu will put in place, or things that Buhari has been doing that will come into fruition after his administration, or a combination of both?
A combination of the two, but more especially because of the policy in place by the new president Tinubu, and essentially by the people working different portfolios who will be expert and the best we have available in Nigeria. We're fabulously wealthy. We're with the most intelligent people in Africa. It's not going to be difficult. Come on now, a Nigerian, a Yoruba man runs the economy of the United States, and he's not a Soludo. This is not difficult, you know. I think this guy's going to play. This is another thing I have to say. I think if Tinubu wins, I have a prediction right now. If Tinubu wins, I think he'll make Moghalu the central bank governor.
I don't think so. I think he'll make a Yoruba man the central bank.
No,
governor.
I think he'll make.
Do you think Tinubu's administration is going to be as tribal as Buhari's has been?
I hope not. I hope not. We don't need that right now. We've had enough of that in the last 7 years, 8 years. We don't need no tribal shenanigan. Let the best person rule over the space. We know. Let his new cabinet represent the true true Nigeria, where everybody feels like they belong to that country. Everybody has a sense of belonging. Right now, it's so divided. Fulani people are all over, from all the big positions in Nigeria ruled by Fulanis. That would end come Tinubu's reign. And let the people, if I don't care what the person is, if the person's the best brain for that position and he has the capacity, he's known to do that. So that is what I'm expecting. And I think, and I'm saying, and I'm predicting that Moghalu will be, because I think he's the most qualified for that position, actually.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Alexander.
Yeah.
For time,
Thank you very much.
I want to wrap this up.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I want
Happy
to
New Year
the
to
new
everybody.
Year. Happy New Year to you, and thank you for the year, Alexander. We'll do it again in just 24 hours time. So thank you. And Man of Prestige informs us that he has made it safely back to the United States. So he's escaped dodging bullets in Nigeria, only to go and do the same thing in America, because they shoot people over there, don't they? But thank you for the super chat, and I hope you enjoyed your time in Nigeria. And I was only joking, by the way, but hope you enjoyed your time in Nigeria, Man of Prestige. So thank you, Man of Prestige. As we go on to Obina, who joins us. So Obina really is a case of that was the year that was. So that was the year that was. But what year was it, Obina? So your Man of the Year. Let's start it from the top. Who is your Man of the Year for this year that is wrapping up?
Man of the Year, I mean, Peter Obi has the Man of the Year, to be frank, because you see the way he started, even when he left for Labour Party, I was like, this man should have just stayed, you know, he would have been the vice president to Atiku. You know, I didn't see him getting as far as he has gone, you know. So even with the projections and everything, there's not been anybody who has pushed a third force the way he has done it, especially from where he comes from. He comes from a minority group, but he has been able to garner people. I mean, so I would say yes, a combination of him and Doyin Okupe as well, because I saw Doyin follow him even while he was in PDP. I recognized Doyin, you know, always with him while he was in PDP and while he was going around campaigning. So, you know, those men that stood around him, I might not see all of them, but all the men that stood with him and moved with him are the Men of the Year.
No, it's very difficult to argue against Peter Obi being the Man of the Year. And there are several candidates, by the way. There's an argument to say that Tinubu is the Man of the Year. But the argument for Peter Obi being the Man of the Year, it stands by itself. You know, it stands by itself.
For Tinubu, we always saw Tinubu getting the ticket anyway. So just like you said, we all knew it was his turn. We all knew, even before he declared, we all knew that it was going to be Tinubu. You know, so it wasn't surprising. Peter Obi's own was surprising. We didn't see him leave PDP, and not just leave, but get the kind of massive support he's gotten. Donald Duke have tried it, but it didn't work. He didn't get up to 20,000 votes. You know. So, and Donald Duke is one person that was loved too, you know, due to Obudukato Ranch and all that. But Peter Obi, I don't know, there was just something about him that.
What he has done this year, Peter Obi, is nothing short of, and within the time period that he has done it, is nothing short of phenomenal. We've never seen anything like that in the history of that country, ever.
And if he continues like that, he would create a serious upset in the election. If the way he's going, it continues, but you know, politics might just change. So.
All right. So yeah, you won't get an argument for me. There's an argument for so many people, but you won't get too much of a pushback from me for Peter Obi being the man of the year. It's just so it's breathtaking what we've seen from Obi this year.
In fact, he's the leader of presidential candidates. Let's put it that way. He's the one that defines how they are doing their campaigning and the election. He has changed the way that we interact with presidential candidates and everything. So, very good job on his part.
Okay, and the woman of the year for counterbalance.
I'll stick with the same person of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in case, in spite of the onslaught against her by the US, she was able to get the position. So
yes, you can't vary too far from her, and it's a reflection on the female gender that you struggle to reach beyond Madame Ngozi to find a standout woman in the 12-month calendar. So it's quite but there it is. You won't get an argument for, and I love to argue. So give me something to argue with. But you won't get an argument from me to say Madame Ngozi was the woman of the year. But now the one seminal moment, because we had so many things happen in the course of the last 12 months. But what stands out as a seminal moment, as a moment in time in the history of that country over the course of these 12 months? So what was the moment or event of the year for you, Obinna?
Is it like a good thing or a bad thing?
The choice is yours.
Okay. Well, I would say the bad thing is killing.
Actually, sorry, one of each, good and bad, one of each.
Okay, so for the bad one is the mob attack on the lady that that they accused of blasphemy.
Deborah Samuel.
Yes. So and any of such kind of activities, even the police brutality, just shooting, and killing people, and then the train attack, because the train the train has been adjudged like the safest means of transportation. I had big men who park their vehicles and use the train, and then now all of a sudden the train is no more in that space. So to me, insecurity is the sad moment for the year for Nigeria. And then maybe the good part, I would say number one is signing of not just the signing, but implementation of the electoral laws, because you can see that not just in the way that we transmit election, but even the process leading to the election. Like, see big men like Akpabio and Senate President are not able to grab the ticket like they would have if it was the previous electoral law. Now, with this one, even big men are subjected to the law. They can't manipulate the process, So it gives hope that, okay, at least this election is going to be there's going to be some kind of credibility compared to the previous elections.
All right. Who has been your breakthrough person for the year? It may well be a name that we've already known, but they've leapt up in terms of public admiration. So who has been your breakthrough person for the year?
Yeah, I would say it's this guy. Is it Femi, the man in charge of the African Development Bank? In order for him to Akinwumi, he was trying to get a second term, and US made false accusations against him, but thank God he was able to pull through, and that's because he was forthright. Because if there was anything found against him, of course, what would have happened. So it means that in his previous years before he got re-elected, he had shown himself to be, a man of discipline and everything, and they found it worthy found him worthy to get another shot at it. So to me, I would say that he has represented Nigeria well, in spite of all the negative press that we've had.
All right. So now, Obinna, surprise us by being predictable. What is your projection for? And I'm nailing everybody down on this. I'm documenting what everybody says. What's your projection for February the 25th, 2023? Who takes the ticket? Who gets the gold medal? Who carries the wedding?
Waziri Atiku Abubakar.
All right. Wow. There it is. No, are you okay? Well, that's left field. Okay, explain. Explain.
So notwithstanding the five governors are doing, if we are taking into cognizance the way the electoral law is now, where people cannot manipulate the election, I think the PDP is in a better state to collect it because people are angry with the APC. Not because the PDP is the greatest party or people are in love, but it's just that that's the alternative. I'm not ignoring NMPP and OB yet. They're very but I think they're in a position to get it. And then the man himself, as much as they are using politics to malign the person of Atiku, people know who Atiku is. Atiku has always been a friend to the South. So, in fact, that's even the reason maybe the election turned out the way it turned out in 2019. So people know who the man is. And I think he's even the reason why the PDP made the decision of who the route they went anyway. But if you look at the 5 governors, for instance, trying to do all they're trying to do, why is if the APC is so sure of getting it, why are they why are they trying to get a deal with them? Do you understand? So to me, I don't need you if I know that I'm going to get it anyway. So moreover, states like Benue and Oyo states are not, even if everything was great in the PDP and everything was great in the APC, Makinde was never going to be sure of a re-election. His first election, the election he won, not because he was popular. Yes, I know Rashid Ladoja helped him because Rashid is loved by the people, but APC is an institution in the Southwest, to be frank with you guys. And the APC was in disarray in Oyo State. That was even what gave room for PDP to come in. Now they are not. And the man that is even running is a very popular man. Teslim Folarin is a very popular man. So I don't know. I don't see, it's going to be tough for Sheyi to even get re-elected, even if everything was great. And then in Benue, almost the same thing. This man won his re-election, yes, after everything, but he's not, I think he still needs to be strong enough. He's not, so these men are not like Wike. Wike has everything under control. You can't be playing, Wike is not even running for election. So Wike has everything under control. Wike has every structure. Wike grabbed the structure even before he became governor, when Amechi, left the party or when he was expelled from the party, whichever way. He grabbed the structure. So my point is, and then I'm looking at the 2 Southeastern governors as well. Those ones, if they say they are going for P2B, it doesn't matter because already the Southeast is already obedient anyway. So they don't even have any weight. So someone
if they go with Tinubu, it won't mean anything because
it will not mean anything. The only reason, it will not mean anything because in fact it will even get them more negative. In fact, it will even cost them their own because they're running for Senate. And already, even if everything was good in the PDP and there was no deal, Naya Baribe will easily win Ekpazu. There's no competition if they are to do free and fair election. Then you now go and support Tinubu. So the only thing that the Southeastern governors would do for Tinubu is to give him 25% vote so that he can meet the threshold. That's the only thing. And I don't know how they're going to do it. If it's going to be free and fair, then I don't know how they're going to do it.
All right.
So that's where I'm seeing it from.
All right. So and don't run away on the 25th of February because I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm here.
But still with your Prophet Obina hat on, what sort of anticipation are you having for 2023? What sort of a year do you anticipate Nigeria would have? Just give us a short. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so based on precedents, because first of all, when you elect new government, I know that the populace will give the new government, the benefit of doubt and everything. So I think people will be waiting. Let's see the direction and everything. But if you go by the articles, way of doing things, that he has engaged technocrats to, when he was in Obasanjo's government to help get Nigeria, especially like all those Ngozi, Soludo and co, even El-Rufai, all of them. So I see that being replicated. I see Nigeria. I don't think that there will be much impact yet because it's going to take time. It took time for Nigeria to get where it is. So it's going to take time for us to get out from where we are now. But I think there will be steps that will be taken economically to get us out of where we are, especially in terms of our currency and in terms of trying to enable our ability to produce stuff inside of Nigeria, so that we can, because that would affect the value of our currency, and it will also ensure that money gets into the hands of people through employment. So I see that happening, beginning to happen in the year. Remember, by the time they take office, it's already half the year. So I don't see much improvement that first year, but going forward, yes.
All right. And finally, yes, what will be the abiding memory of the Buhari administration? How would it go down in the annals of history?
Well, maybe the bad part is insecurity and division, like disunity, having, like, Nigeria is a more divided this time, and it started with statements, like how you would treat this section of people versus how you treat this other section of people. So those kind of statements also kind of gave room or gave teeth to people who utilized it to play all kinds of politics and everything. But the good part, I would say, is maybe NNPC Limited. Because the whole bureaucracy thing has brought down the NNPC. Government will come and collect money, treating NNPC like a personal purse. Right now, it's a limited liability company. The board of directors don't need Federal Executive Council to sit before they can be able to spend money to fix things. Because sometimes maybe the refinery is down, they need Federal Executive Council to approve. By the time that goes through, maybe the amount that would have cost to fix it has increased or something, but now they will be able to take those decisions by themselves. And so when a company is independent, it means that it should be able to sustain itself. It's not going to be money that comes from Nigerian Post Authority that they will use. It's going to be, you use whatever you generate, and then you return profit to us. So I think, to me, that's a good thing from his government.
All right. So is it going down as a good administration or a bad administration? Just give us
I'll say more of bad than good, to me, because he had the goodwill of Nigerians. Nigerians gave him the benefit of doubt. He had the opportunity, but he was too slow. First of all, in the constitution of his cabinet was too slow. That's a lot of time wasted. For someone who had always wanted to be president, should already know, and you were a president before, so you should have known people whom you wanted to put in these certain strategic positions. Then even while you're president, you should still have been able to rejig your cabinet. If you should be able to periodically check and say, okay, you're not doing this, you're doing this, okay, you're better here, you move this person over, and make sure that there's no time to just be wasting. And he took time to make decisions. In fact, I would say one of his one of the good things of his administration is actually Vice President Osibanjo. The most good things that happened was when VP was the acting president. So some decisions like confirmation of Attorney General, removal of DSS director, and so many other things that he took, decisions he took while the president was away, maybe might have contributed to the positive thing in the administration. But to me, I think he wasted a lot of time in making decisions. He had the opportunity. He had our benefit of doubt. Like we tagged him the cleanest, the person, the uncorruptible president. He had the goodwill to do whatever he wanted to do, but he kind of wasted it. So.
All right, brilliant. So thank you. About president. So thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, one man, and thank you too for this platform. It's give us opportunity to talk. We really appreciate you bringing it, and we'll continue into the new year.
All right, brilliant. I can't wait for us to get February out of the way so that we can come back together and start all this whatever it is that we do. But thank you. So in the spirit of the Merry Christmases, Alexander Akashe Subachas to say Happy New Year to everyone on this platform. Cheers. So Happy New Year to you, Alexander Akashe. So we do it all over again next year, of course, which is in the next short while. So we go on from Obina to Kulata. And Kulata, so that was the year that we've just had. But what sort of year has it been? We are kicking everybody off with the man of the year. So for all of everything that has happened in Nigeria over the course of the last 12 months, who has been your man of the year and why?
Man of the year, no doubt, is Peter Obi. is been the man of the year because it's not an unknown quantity. It's just the fact that he's made a lot of significant impact on a certain section of the population in Nigeria. Is kind of like changed the game. It made third party a viability. That's kind of like the third rail in Nigeria, and something we've been seeking for. It made it viable. I mean, it made that possibility viable. If it doesn't make it, it's kind of like cracked that ceiling. So that ceiling, you can continue to attempt it till you eventually bring it down. So Peter Obi is the man of the year. He's influenced a lot of positive change in our politics. It's inspired a lot of our youths, and it's inspired a lot of hope in the people that come from the southeast. So no doubt that I mean you have to give him man of the year, but there are other runner-ups outside of Peter Obi that are men of the year. But let's not talk about that. Let's give the man.
No, Peter Obi. I think you struggle to get an argument against Peter Obi being the man of the year. But give us a couple of people that pushed him for that title. So give us a couple of names that were also
I
contenders.
mean, Tinubu's infamy, if I may call it that way, puts him a close runner-up to being the man of the year. He overcame a lot of obstacles, and is on everybody's lips. And he's been super influential. Perhaps arguably more influential than Peter Obi. Peter Obi is more popular. Tinubu is more influential and definitely more powerful. So he is a good runner-up. And there are additional people, but they know. I mean, these two are way above everybody else. So that's the closest runner-up. But the star person is definitely Peter Obi, based on his popularity and I'll say positive change to the Nigerian Nigerian political space.
Brilliant. Thank you. So to the woman of the year, I suspect you give us the same name everybody has been.
No way. No, I'm not. I'm
okay.
not. Toby Amuson. Toby Amuson is the woman of the year.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Toby Amuson.
Yeah.
Nobody comes close to Toby Amuson.
Why are you copying my notes, Kulata? Why are you copying my notes?
People are saying Ngozi, please. No, it's Toby Amuson. She broke the record. She even did better than the record she broke, if only just tiny wind assist. And this was someone that almost gave up. She's on everybody's lips. I mean, even Michael Johnson was saying like she was using cheat code or something. She went again and came close to that record again in another race. So nobody gets close to Toby Amuson. That is what they call a spectacular individual performer. That she was brilliant, and not just that, she also contributed to the relay. And I mean, we got a medal in the Olympics based on some of our contributions. So no way you cannot take it away from Toby Amuson. She's been the athlete of the year.
But as laudable as her achievements are, and I'll be the last person to detract from that, is that sufficient enough of an achievement to rival what Madame Ngozi stands for and represents?
Madame Ngozi hasn't achieved. She got an office. That's it. And she got an office based on lobbying from various people, including Buhari and all. And World Trade Center is like World Trade Center. She's not like the key person making decisions in the World Trade Center. She's just a figurehead. So what she has is symbolic. We're talking about something obtained by individual brilliance, like personal achievement. World Trade Center, you need assist. You need people to get you there. You may be a madam. There are many Madame Ngozi scattered all around the world that won't become WTO because they just don't have the influence that she has, and they're not strategically placed because yes, it's the turn of the black person, and she just happened to be the one available and the one they lobbied for. So I cannot compare that kind of achievement. It's an achievement, no doubt, but not an achievement based on an inspired achievement that based on your own personal effort.
Who do you think the upcoming generation of females, let's narrate to Nigeria, will be most inspired by? Toby
I think they'll be more inspired by Toby Amusan because Toby Amusan personally lifted our athletics up. That was a dying area in Nigeria. She's inspired many youths to like have that can-do attitude, and it extends beyond just athletics. It extends to other endeavors of life. Like, hey, this is a Nigerian. She broke the world record. It's not like she won. It's a different thing that okay, she got gold. She broke the world record and broke the world record by considerable amount of margin. We're talking about fractions of seconds that are very hard to achieve in 100 meters hurdles. I mean, to run 100 meters is just a few seconds. She broke it significantly. She did not win gold. I'm not talking about someone that got an office or won gold. I'm talking about someone that broke a world record. And it will be difficult for anybody to reach that world record. So our achievement is kind of like once in a lifetime or once in half a lifetime.
All right. And the breakthrough person of the year, the person that has leveled up to the public consciousness.
That one is easy too now. Yeah. That's Ashake.
Who is Ashake?
Come on, man. How can you say who is Ashake? That's blasphemy. As in,
should I look it up?
Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
It's not UEFA. It's not NG. NG is bigger. That's the song.
Maybe you should open a account for one man on Spotify so you can.
I don't know anything about music. Or my music stopped with Sonny Ade, So
my
apologies.
You're so sad, one man.
I'm old. I'm old, nigga.
Very sad.
Ashake, what's she done? What has she?
Chike. He said she.
Is it he?
Oh God. He's a he.
Orúkọ obìnrin kọ́ l'Àṣàkẹ́ ni.
Orúkọ obìnrin l'Àṣàkẹ́.
Olawale Ashake. He's the new kid on the blog. The guy is big. At that rate, this guy will just video everybody put together. At the rate is going now.
Ashake is a breakthrough person for me. He's done wonderful. It was you can know when someone preparation meets opportunity and it becomes superstardom. The guy, I mean, he's been trying. It's not like he's been trying, but this was when he met Olamide. The guy put him in line. He just started releasing back to back hits. It's either his own hits or is involved with someone. Honestly, he got close to 10 hits, and there are hits that are still making the waves in clubs, in my part, Dora, in many things. So it is. I give it to Ashake as the breakthrough person this year.
All right, brilliant. And to the event of the year, positive and negative. So to that space.
That one, the event of the year in my mind, I don't know whether it's positive or negative, but Emilio Khan speech in Abeokuta, that was the event of the year. You talk about a dying man. I mean, not dying like that now, not literal.
Yes.
A politician that is drowning that went to now make.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, Kulata. I remember the Ashakena. Is it not the one that had the concert at the O2 that somebody died?
Yes.
Oh, right. That's the one. Okay, carry on. All right, carry on. Yeah.
I will have flogged you. I can't wait to know Ashake.
All right, carry on.
Anyway, Emilio Khan is the event of the year because that was just a rescue of a failing campaign, and it was kind of like pivotal. I don't know how much. I've not seen any event as pivotal as Emilio Khan. Just that Emilio Khan speech in Abeokuta, it changed fortunes. I don't think I've seen a political event as pivotal as Emilio Khan. So that's it. But I don't know whether it's positive or negative. It's just an event. But the terrible event of the year is the massacre of 50 people in Owo. The Owo massacre. That was just too close to home. It was just too bad. Nobody believed that kind of things will happen in the Southwest. The Southwest being the safest region in the country, that just hits way too close to home. It really, really bothered my psyche. Like I was almost chasing my parents with phones to make sure, hey, I hope you're not traveling. I hope you're not doing this, and so on and so forth. So that or massacre was the negative event of the year.
With that or massacre, it wasn't the biggest event of that kind to happen in that country, but certainly because we don't have a history of it in our space, I think that was what shook the space. You know, there's no history of it in Yoruba land. It's something you hear in Borno and you say, "Oh, poor people." You know, I think that was what shook that space.
It shook the space. Like, I mean, look, animal farm. Not all animals are. I mean, you know, some animals are more equal than the other. So if it happens in some areas, it's more like, all right, unfortunate. Oh, sorry. But if it happens in some areas in the country, it's like, oh wow, no, this. I mean, so that was. I guess that's how it is. It's unfortunate. Like human life is not valued equally. But it happened in a war. It became a big deal, and it was. I mean, that's a sad, tragic event because 4 people were worshiping in the Catholic Church, and they went to gun them down. That's mind-numbing, terrible.
All right, projections for the future. The big one. Who sits on that seat the 25th of February?
I will give it to. It's going to be a tight race between Tinubu and Atiku. I think Tinubu will probably edge out the victory, but it's not going to be anything more than between 500. I mean, it's going to be a very, very close, nail-biting finish. I'm thinking the margin may be as low as, I mean, we're talking about margin of like 500,000 to 1 point something million. I don't see the spread being big because they're going to wrestle, they're going to divide the North amongst themselves. So it's now going to be like who X more, I mean, who gets the highest votes in the South between Atiku and Tinubu. So if Tinubu if he can manage a large turnout in the Southwest and get gangbusters numbers, if Obi secures the Southeast, or even if they suppress the Southeast, and if they can now battle Atiku in the South-South, because Atiku will still win the South-South, in my opinion. If they can battle the South-South and like wrestle Atiku down, Tinubu may manage to eke out the victory in the first round. But it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a wide margin, in my opinion, because they're going to divide the entire North. They're just going to divide it amongst themselves. So I favor Tinubu, but a slight margin.
A slight margin, but nevertheless, Tinubu is where you are.
Yeah.
So, and then, what sort of a year are you anticipating for the country from January to December? What sort of year will 2023 be for Nigerians?
A year of pain.
Oh God!
Because there's going to be a global recession next year, and there are going to be some decisions that will be done in Nigeria that will be painful. Except the politicians are not bold enough. But if they remove subsidy, and if they remove the subsidy, if they remove subsidy in petrol, and they also removed subsidy in forex, and then they remove the dual exchange rate, it's going to bring some pain. It's going to be a significant pain. Inflation is going to go up by those two actions. But I'll call it a year of pain and a year of new beginnings if Tinubu wins. The new beginnings will be a lot of projects that's being built will be coming up upstream, like Dangote project, the Lekki Seaport, and many other projects. I can't just mention. I mean, there are many projects that will start to bear fruition, but it's going to be slow, like every other thing. It's going to take some time. But that is a pivotal year. Next year is going to be pivotal year. But pain is going to be expected. There's going to be pain. There's no going away from pain. There's going to be suffering, way more suffering next year. But then within those suffering, you'll see the sprinkles of opportunities ahead. If Tinubu becomes the president, he'll be able to take some of all the work Buhari has done and now make it more visible. There's going to be that continuity. I think I think this goes to your next question. How people are going to see Buhari, but
Yes. Yeah.
I'll just layer it together. I think it will make people look back at Buhari period and say, well, while that guy was bad, it wasn't that bad. It was probably just planting some seeds. But in spite of that, it was a bad manager. It was very ethnocentric. It was this, was that. But it's the one that planted these seeds that are starting to germinate now. But the germination is not going to happen next year. Next year is going to be painful. It's beyond next year, maybe in like 3-4 years before we now start to see. And there's going to be a shift in Nigeria. It's not the excessive consumption Nigeria we had in PDP years. That's why we made a lot of money and we have nothing to show for it in the PDP years. It's going to be some gradual shift to productive activity and something. Things will start working in the country from an infrastructure. I mean, it's going to be gradual. Industrialization, you'll be seeing green shoots here and there. But those may take like 10 years to fully materialize. But you start seeing evidently that yes, these are some changes in the country. But it requires the continuity. If Atiku comes in, then forget about everything I just said.
Yes,
well, I'm expecting
just sell everything, money. Yeah, but
I'm expecting Tinubu to come in, and I think next year will be painful, but you'll see some green shoots of opportunities coming forward, and that's how I see that. Buhari will be remembered. He's going to be one of those presidents that he sucked, but you're going to thank him for some things he started that nobody can recognize or see right now.
They can't tell the history of this second Niger bridge without mentioning his name. For as long as that country exists, his name is tied to that project. Yeah,
that's one thing. Power, you'll be remembering Buhari to eventually in the power space. You'll be remembering Buhari to in the steel sector, not the Ajaokuta steel. I don't think that thing is ever going to work. But maybe the Kaduna Steel and some other areas. You remember him for the Dangote refineries. You start remembering Dangote refineries. You remember him when Daewoo finishes the turnaround maintenance on Nigerian refineries. Starting from next year. You start thinking about that. You remember him in some of this farming stuff, rice. You start remembering in rice. Changing our dependency, import substitution. You remember in a few substitution, the biggest is rice. You remember him in rejigging the ports in the South. You remember him for that. There are other things you remember him for, but many people just will not know now, and the impact may not be that apparent because while all these good things are happening, there's going to be a lot of bad things happening, which is hyperinflation, driven by removing subsidy and driven by removing subsidy on forex, turning it into a single market, and also the expected global. There's going to be a global recession next year. Everybody be prepared. There's a recession coming up worldwide, and Nigeria is not immune for what happens in the world. Companies have already started laying off in preparation for that in the States. So that's also going to affect what's going on next year. So everybody be prepared. But the recession is not going to be that deep in America, but it will be deep in England and a few European countries for obvious reasons.
All right, brilliant. Thank you, Kulata. So thank you to Kulata. We can hear jingle bells in the background. So thank you, Kulata, and Happy New Year. So let's go on from Kulata to let's go to Babati. Babati, you're up next. So the sequence. The sequence of questions, we take it from the top. Your man of the year. Your man of the year. Who's your man of the year over the course of this last 12 months?
Man, first of all, many happy New Year in advance to everybody, especially to you, one man.
Happy New Year to you. I forgot my manners. Happy New Year to you. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I just lost a friend of mine like an hour. Yeah. So it's a little bit. Yeah, so about an hour ago, I got a call, from his wife, so kind of unfortunate. But
sorry about that. There's never a time to lose somebody, but certainly the worst time is just when you're about to cross over into a new year.
Right.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
that's quite unfortunate. Yeah. But to your question, I mean, obviously, like everybody has said, Peter Obi will be the man of the year. Not necessarily him as a person, but what he represents to the political space and the possibilities. Because as a Nigerian, we kind of very hopeless in that space because we just assume that the politics is a dirty game. You don't get involved. You can win, and it's just showing you that perhaps when people come together, that there's a chance. I'm not saying that it's going to win, but there's a chance that if we get our acts together, we can actually win at all levels, at every level. So that to me it changes beyond politics itself. It shows you that when people come together, beyond the political divide, the religious divide, the cultural divide, that they can do wonders. And to me, he's the man of the year. He's really changed the political landscape. That even if it does not win, for years to come down the road, people will start to at least show interest in politics, especially at the local level. So I'm hoping to see more of the so-called mushroom parties contest for local government elections, local council elections, and I think that would be as a result of the impact that Peter Obi will have made in the political space. So to me, he's the man of the year, clearly.
Brilliant. I think that's almost universal, that thought that Peter Obi man of the year. But we'll wait for Patrick to hear what he has to say. But then to counterbalance the woman of the year, you said Kulata stole your notes.
Yeah, that bad be also give award like the year. Just
look at that. The
man probably went to public high school in Nigeria, so we know what happened. But Toby, I mean, come on. Breaking the world record in the semifinals and coming back 24 hours later to win and break your own record is saying, again, within the span of 24 hours, that is unheard of. That was unheard of. And for a second, it made you feel good being a Nigerian. You just, because that reminded me of the Olympics in 96. You know, the way that our women performed and that kind of Nigerian spirit and the way we came after Michael Johnson. I had to join the bullying on Twitter because we came together again. Like, who are you to? She's our girl. We came after one man, and even though we had this tribal fight on Twitter for a while. But when that man came against her, we all said, you know what? Let's forget our tribal differences for a while. Let's attack this man. And we came together and we attacked Michael Johnson. It was a beautiful moment in Twitter history as a Nigerian. So she made me feel good at being a Nigerian for at least for a minute. But I think she's even up for Woman of the Year, top 5 right now for 2022 in sports.
You mean globally?
Yeah.
Globally.
She's top 5 now for Woman of the Year for the year 2022 in sports because that is unheard of. Because she won gold back to back. You broke world records within 24 hours. That is unheard of. And it made people feel good being a Nigerian, and just shows you the possibility that the Nigerian spirit was rekindled one man. That Nigerian spirit is still there, of perseverance, of endurance, of hard work and dedication. So that it made you feel good being a Nigerian. So to me, she's the Woman of the Year, clearly.
All right, brilliant. And the breakthrough personality of the year, the breakthrough that came through this year.
Man, it might not be like a popular opinion, because I like local elections. I like, breakthrough of the year once again. Man, you know what? Breakthrough of one of the year. Breakthrough. What do people even pick anyways? Who were they? Who was the popular choice?
I think that somebody actually said Peter Obi yet again because he was, of course, a known quantity.
Right, so the
way it came through this year, he leveled up quite a few layers. And then, of course, this Amoso girl that you're talking about, she's certainly a break. Nobody knew she existed as a human being,
Right.
but now nobody in the world is not aware of her name. So certainly a breakthrough there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me skip that. Let me put that one for last.
All right. And the event of the year, which event stood out, either negative or positive, or both negative and positive? So which were the outstanding events? You can have two of the year for you.
Okay, so for the negative was, of course, the war. That was just because there were events. Because even my friends in America were the one that even called me for that. Like, one of my friends in the Catholic Church called me about that. I didn't even know about that until he called me and said, "Do you know what's going on?" Because the church took it very seriously. Because you know how the Catholic Church is. So that was a shock for people to walk into a church and just do that. And that just tells you that we have, if care is not taken, religious war is it's possible in that country. And that was it's too shocking. Even speaking about it, gives me that was just a very shocking moment in Nigeria's history. I mean, that was just devastating because I don't even, that was terrible. And second bad part, I mean, I would say the flooding in Nigeria, that just was showing you that we have this infrastructural deficit. No, that was. I mean, it just tells you that we need to do more. But just to add one more, I don't know if people know Professor Grace Williams. Have you heard that name before, one man?
No. Who was she?
She died March 25. Professor Grace Williams. She was the first Nigerian vice chancellor. She was the first Nigerian to earn a PhD.
First Nigerian or first female Nigerian?
Sorry, first female Nigerian.
First female Nigerian professor too, I think.
Yeah, so she was the very first. She died March 25 at the age of 89. So she was, just the women empowerment thing. She just shows you that, women have the right to. So to me, it was kind of like a bittersweet experience where a celebration of that she died, but she's 89, but she's a well-accomplished person, died March 25. So that was, but the highlight, one man, I like local politics. I think that's where Nigeria should be heading. And for the past few months, Sanwo-Olu has gone bonkers. I mean, this guy, I know some of these were announcements, it's not been done yet, but to me, I'm looking at 10, 20 years down the road because it's showing you the possibilities that when you have a visionary in office, this is what Nigeria should look like. This is where governance, I mean, this is what we should be focusing on. Local and state government pulling the weight of infrastructural development and then being empowered to do so. So, because the demand on that blue line, I know people said it's just for politics. One man, I can assure you one thing. Once that blue line opens, the demand and structure of that blue line will be so high that it will force the state government to expand it within 2 or 3 years. I can assure you that. Because the demand on it will be so high that they will start to work on the phase 2 and expand to other places because they're going to make a lot of money on it. The people are going to love it. And they will be forced to expand because when people see that, wait a minute, this thing is beautiful. Why don't we have in our own area? They will start to expand it. So it's showing you the possibilities. So that state governments need to do more. That is where we should be focusing on in terms of economic growth, in terms of infrastructure and planning. And when you have visionaries in office, and you can see the importance of having a planner like Tinubu from 1999 and having his own people in office for a while carry out the plan. Even though godfatherism might be bad sometimes, it shows you that sometimes it's also good as well when you have continuity within your own space. That if you have your own bodies running the show, so that to me would be the both the highlight and the low light for the year.
All right, brilliant. Alexander informs that the lady Alele Williams was his father's girlfriend at UI. So there it is. They're late, or they always keep it in the house. Alexander Gomez. Grace Alele Williams is telling us.
Chief Gomez. You know, we are celebrating life now. Let's not put that out there.
Look at that. You know, they call that humble bragging.
I see how my issues with Chief Gomez that we need to resolve, but but that's a different.
Were you not meant to be out playing golf together? I thought he invited you to play golf.
He showed me clearly he was scared of my golf, of my skills. Probably it probably was intimidated, but me being a humble person, it's fine. But whenever it's ready, I will be in Houston to take him on. The offer is still there, but it is what it is. It is what it is, one man.
All right. Exercise those skills and to give us a prediction on who will be the next president. So your projection for February, who sits on that seat?
One man, don't let me bring my doom. You know who I have on the screen, right? That is Dr. Doom right there. So that is
Dr. Doom. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to be, but some way somehow I think we're still gonna have a couple of major events before the elections. I believe in my spirit. I know I'm not on the popular side on that one, but I strongly believe that you're still gonna have some major things happen. But having said that, oh boy, oh man, oh boy,
you've been hinting at this thing for a while now. Is that what it is?
No, it's not. I'm just saying that something is just off. And I'm not going to go far as saying that we're not going to have elections. I'm not going to say that, but it's just to be honest with you, let me be honest with you, one man. I don't know. I think it's really tight than more people than people think. I think the numbers are really, really very, very close. And to be honest with you, those major events might change the outcome of the election. So I would like to hold my my opinion to myself at least maybe 3 or 4 days to the election. So when we come back, then I can actually give you my own position. But one month for now, I'm still gonna just look out. But I can answer the question about if Tinubu wins, for instance, how the country would look like. I can go there.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Go there, and then cap it off with how Buhari will be remembered.
Right. So I would say if Tinubu wins, then you're gonna have. It's still gonna be a very tough year next year, to be honest with you, one man, because regardless of whoever comes there, they're gonna come with their own agenda, and they have to get rid of the subsidy, of course. I'm not gonna go far as K and it's how we like to tax the poor people, tax everybody and Mama Nkechi and everybody. I wouldn't say that will happen, but I would say it's going to be a very painful year for Nigerians. But I'm saying that whoever comes there, like Tinubu, for instance, at least there will be a plan in terms of infrastructural growth. So, and I do agree that Nigeria can even, I would say, to be honest with you, one man, this is what I'm looking at, one man. I think that Nigeria can be actually top 15 in the next 4 years. Not even 20. Top 15 in the world.
That's quite a prediction.
Within 4, I think the last quarter of year 4, I think it's possible because the level of investment, because money follows investment, money follows vision. If you have a visionary in office, and people see that it's very sincere, then the money will come. So I oftentimes wonder why Nigerian politicians always go around the world sourcing for funds. It's very laughable to me and pathetic. There's no reason why a president should be flying over the place looking for investment. It doesn't work that way. When you have your act together and you have a plan, the investment will follow, right? When they see that you are serious, they are also looking around the world as well. So I think that if we have a president that is serious about growth and investment in that country, the money will follow. So I think it's like who will, do justice to that. And I think Atiku as well. Don't be dismissive of his experience. I know he made some mistakes during the OBJ era, by the way he was setting things up. So I think he also will do a good job in terms of attracting investment. Obi, I have concerns because of his lack of experience at that level internationally. I don't think he's exposed enough to, even though he talks a good game, I don't think he's strong enough to, attract the kind of investment we need, at least not for the first 4 years if he wins. So that would be my own thing. But to cap it up with Buhari will be remembered as a tribalist. Yeah, I mean, because to me, I think it is even adding the military head of state. I think Buhari, is the most disappointing. What do you know why it is the most disappointing? Because he had the best opportunities, the best, even more than OBJ to change that country. Because guess what? If Buhari had said, for instance, now I am going to change, or I am going to implement the policy in terms of, for education and healthcare in the north, where you have to go to school. Not sending your kids to go is a crime in the north. Nobody, because he has that credibility amongst his people. He could have done the very thing that Goodluck couldn't do. He could have done so many things because he has the experience, he has the people's trust, and they kind of fear him in some kind of way. He has that kind of, messianic. I won't go as like divine kind of, stance, but I'm thinking that he had the opportunity and he blew it. And in terms of security as well, you're a former head of state, you are a military whatever expert or whatever, and you pretty much failed in that department as well. So I think in terms of education, healthcare, and security is failed woefully. That has been. Healthcare. My God, you are sick in the UK for close to 6-7 months. So, woman, can you something? What's that noise in the background?
No, it's fireworks for the new year.
Okay, good. So in terms of healthcare now, for instance, one man, this guy was sick in the UK for what, 6 to 7 months, and I was thinking that you coming back to Nigeria, you would have made the national address and said, guys, I was sick. I was in the UK for this long period of time. We need to declare a state of emergency in the healthcare sector. That would have been the very humanly thing that you've done.
All right. Thank you, Babachi. Babachi, apologies. The year is a couple of minutes away, and I want to go and break it.
I'm sorry, but thank you, guys. Hopefully, we'll get to do it again next year. And God bless everybody else. See you guys later. Bye.
All right, brother. Thank you, Babachi. Thank you, Babachi. I'm sorry, Patrick. I want to go break in the year with my family. So thank you, Babachi. And a happy new year to everybody. We meet again roundabout when we do meet this time the usual session commences. So happy new year. Thank you, everybody, for the super chat. Thank you for the year. Thank you for your company. We do it all over again. I wish you the best. I wish you all that you wish yourself for the new year. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the coffees. Happy New Year and peace.